Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, let us start. Remember, we have been learning Chapter 4, Human Settlements of our NCERT textbook, India, People and Economy. Yesterday, we discussed about different types of rural settlements in India. And today, we shall discuss about urban settlements in India. Now, let me share my screen. So, urban settlements. And about the differences between rural settlements and the urban settlements, we discussed yesterday. Okay, and again, the same is also given here. One point of difference. Can you tell me? Just read the first line. Okay, unlike rural settlements, urban settlements are generally compact and larger in size. Okay, say rural settlements, generally we talked yesterday, small in size. Okay, and some of the urban settlements are dispersed also, and most of the rural people are engaged in primary activities. And for the urban settlements, uh, people in the urban areas are engaged in a variety of non-agricultural, economic and administrative functions. That means they are mainly engaged in the secondary, tertiary, quaternary and other service sectors. Okay, so these are the differences between the rural settlements and urban settlements. Okay, in addition to this, we have a lot of points discussed yesterday, so try to remember. And we also have discussed that cities are functionally linked to rural areas around them. Exchange of goods and services is performed sometimes directly and sometimes through a series of market towns and cities. That means from the villages, raw materials for the industries in the cities, then vegetables, then food items for the urban dwellers, okay, are supplied from the rural areas. And again, from the cities, different kinds of services, okay, are provided to the rural areas. So in this way, there is a functional link between the rural areas and the towns and the cities. Okay, that we have discussed yesterday. Now let us talk about evolution of towns in India. How were the towns in India flourish, evolve. Okay, so let us read. Towns flourish since prehistoric times in India. Even at the time of Indus Valley civilization, towns like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were in existence. And about it, you have learned in the history classes also. Okay, these were the towns flourished in the prehistoric these times. Okay, that means in the ancient days. Okay, in the ancient India. And following the period has witnessed evolution of towns, and it continued with periodic ups and downs until the arrival of Europeans in India in the 18th century. Okay, and see, this is a brief history of evolution of towns in India. Okay, so in India, towns flourish since prehistoric times. Then, see, in the ancient Indian period, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were in existence, and following the period, witnessed evolution of different towns in India. However, there were ups and downs, okay, until the arrival of the Europeans in India in the 18th century, and now on the basis of evolution, okay, on the basis of evolution of towns, Indian towns may be classified as ancient towns, medieval towns, and modern towns. Okay, these are the three types of towns on the basis of evolution. So now let us learn about ancient towns. So what are ancient towns? So these are the towns having historical background spanning over 2000 years. Okay, towns having historical background spanning over 2000 years are known as ancient towns. And most of these towns develop as religious and cultural centers. Actually, in the ancient days, towns were developed mainly as a religious and cultural centers. And so we have examples of ancient towns like Varanasi, then Prayag, now known as Allahabad, Patliputra, now known as Patna, and Madurai. Okay, so these are the important ancient towns, important examples of ancient towns in India. Now let us try to find out the location of these towns on the map of India. Here, this is a map of India showing important towns and cities in India. And here we have Varanasi. Okay, see here, Varanasi is here. Okay, here we have Varanasi. Then this is what? This is Prayag. This is Allahabad, Prayag. Then here we have Patliputra, that is Patna. Okay. So what are the other towns? And next we have one more town, Madurai. Okay. So Madurai. Actually, the big dots is the location of the town. And here nearby it we have the name of the town, Madurai. Okay. So these are the important ancient towns in India. Any question, boys and girls? Next we have medieval towns. So about 100 of existing towns in India have their roots in the medieval period. You know, medieval means middle, okay, middle period. That is during the kingdom period. Okay, and most of them develop as headquarters of principalities and the kingdoms. So medieval towns were developed as administrative headquarters of principalities, small kingdoms, and kingdoms. And these are 4 towns which came up on the ruins of ancient towns. Actually, in the ruins of the ancient towns, these towns have been developed merely as a 4 towns, okay, for the defense purposes. And we have examples of medieval towns like Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, Agra, Nagpur. Okay, I think you can find it on the map of India also. Delhi, everybody knows about it. Okay, Delhi is here. Then what is the other town? Yes, what are the other towns? We have Jaipur, Hyderabad. Okay, Jaipur, Jaipur is here in Rajasthan, and Hyderabad. Okay, Hyderabad, a very important town in south. So in this way, you can find out, okay, location of these towns. Agra also there, Nagpur also there. Say Nagpur. Can you find out? Agra is in the north. Okay, Agra is here. So in this way, so on the LRs, okay, uh, use LRs to find out. Next, we have modern towns. So modern towns were developed, okay, mainly by the British and the other Europeans. As mentioned here, see, the British and the other Europeans have developed a number of towns in India. That means most of the modern towns were developed by the British and the other Europeans. And starting their foothold on coastal locations, they first developed some trading ports such as Surat, Daman, Goa, Pondicherry. Okay, the British, the European first started development or establishment of the towns on the coastal areas, and they developed those towns as the trading ports. Okay, which were used for the exchange of the commodities, for the export and the import of the commodities. For example, Surat, Daman, Goa, Pondicherry, etc. Then the British later consolidated their hold around three principal knots. Okay, after that, the British consolidated their empire around three principal centers, knots. Okay, those were Mumbai, it was known as Bombay, then Chennai, it was known as Madras, and Kolkata, it was known as Calcutta. Okay, and those three towns were built in the British style. You must know that. And rapidly extending their domination either directly or through control over the princely states. They established their administrative centers, then hill towns as summer resorts, and added new civil, administrative, and military areas to them. Okay, and towns after that, during that period also, during the British period also, towns based on modern industries also evolved after 1850. So we have Jamshedpur as an example. Okay, which was evolved as industrial town during the British. Then after independence, a large number of towns have been developed as administrative headquarters. Okay, as the capital, state or the union territory capitals. For example, Chandigarh, Bhubaneswar, Gandhinagar, Dispur, Imphal, etc. Then some of the towns developed as industrial centers or industrial towns. Say, for example, Durgapur, Bhilai, Sindri, Barauni. And some old towns also developed as satellite towns around metropolitan cities such as Ghaziabad, Rohtak, Gurugram, around Delhi. Okay, and with increasing investment in rural areas by the government of India, a large number of medium and small towns have developed all over the country now. So this is about the development or the historical development of towns in India. Any question, boys and girls? Yes, boys and girls, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us continue. Next, we have urbanization. Okay, urbanization in India. Urbanization, process. It is a process. Okay, it is a process of turning rural areas into urban areas. This is the simplest meaning of urbanization. Okay, it is the process of turning or evolving rural areas into urban areas. And actually, level of urbanization is measured in terms of percentage of urban population to the total population. So to find out the level of urbanization, okay, we have to find the percentage of urban population to the total population. Okay, it is very simple. So urbanization, for example, okay, urbanization, okay, spelling is wrong. Okay, urbanization, what to do? We have to divide what? Urbanization. Here, according to this definition given here, okay, we have to find out the percentage of urban population to the total population. Here we have total population. Okay, here we have total population, and it is to be multiplied by 100. Simply, the urbanization is the percentage of urban population to the total population of the country. Okay, as mentioned here, the level of urbanization is measured in terms of percentage of urban population to total population. And say in the 2011, the level of urbanization was 31.16%, which is quite low in comparison with the developed countries. Okay, in India, according to Census India 2011, the level of urbanization was only 31.16%, which is very low, okay, in comparison to the developed countries of the world. And the total urban population has increased 11-fold during the 12th century. Okay, and the enlargement of urban centers and the emergence of new towns have played a significant role in the growth of urban population and urbanization in the country. So then see how the number of urban dwellers has increased. So it may be increased by enlarging the by increasing the size of the urban centers. Cities also grow, okay, in due course of time. And one thing is that as the time passes with the policies of government, okay, with the economic development of the country, okay, some of the villages may be evolved as new towns also. So in this way, the level of urbanization has been increasing in India. And table number 4.1 tells the level of urbanization. Okay, now let us read. So here we have this table number 4.1 showing the trends of urbanization from 1901 to 2011. Just see here this column, okay, this column shows the level of urbanization. Here in the year 1911, the level of urbanization was only 10.29%, and this column shows the decadal growth rate, okay, decennial or decadal growth rate of urban population. And here after independence, okay, for example here In 1951, the level urbanization was only 17.29. Okay, and however, the decennial growth rate was very high, say 41.42%, and now in the year 2011, okay, in the year 2011, the level of urbanization was 31.16. However, the decennial growth rate is very low. See, in the year 2001, okay, the level of urbanization was 27.78 and decennial growth rate was 31.13, and in 2011 the decennial growth rate is 31.08. So there is little difference, okay, between 2001 and 2011. So this is about urbanization in India. Any question, boys and girls? Next, we have classification of towns on the basis of population size. Okay, just few minutes ago we have discussed about evolution or classification of towns on the basis of say classification of towns on the basis of evolution. Okay, we have ancient towns, medieval towns, and modern towns. And now we have classification of towns on the basis of population size. Okay, and on the basis of the size of the population, we have 6 classes. Okay, 6 classes of towns, and it is presented in table number 4.2 in the next page. Okay, see, just so we may read. Okay, it is here, table number 4.2 is here. So this table number 4.2 shows the classification of towns on the basis of population size, and here we have the classes of towns. So we have 6 classes of towns based on the size. Okay, if the population size of the town is 1 lakh or more, it is known as class 1 town. Okay, and next, if the population size is 50,000 to 99,000 to 999, it is known as class 2 town. Okay, and if the size of population is less than 5,000, it is known as class 6 towns. And here total urban population is given here. So when we examine this table very carefully, we find that class 1 town shares maximum number of urban dwellers in India, 60.45%. Okay, class 1 town shares maximum number of urban population in India, contributing around 60.45. And then next we have class 3 town. Okay, this class 3 town, so the size of population is 20,000 to 49,999. So this class 3 town shares 15.43% of the total urban population in India. So in this way you have to examine the table. Okay, so urban centers with population more than 1 lakh is called a city or class 1 town. Okay, if the size of population is more than 1 lakh, it is called class 1 town according to Census India, or it is also known as city. And another one, okay, cities accommodating population size between 1 to 5 million are called metropolitan cities. If the size of population is ranging between 1 million to 5 million, it is known as metropolitan cities. Okay, and if more than 5 million, if the size of population is more than 5 million, it is known as mega cities. Okay, if the size of population is more than 5 million, it is known as mega cities. And here we have a pie diagram, okay, showing distribution of urban population. Okay, so this pie chart also explains about the distribution of urban population. Here, if you see this pie diagram, you'll find that class 1 town shares the maximum number of urban dwellers, as we have rate in table number 4.2. okay, just see here, the sector is very big. And where is the class 6 towns here? Class 6 towns share the least number of urban dwellers in India. And here we have class 3 towns, okay, in the next to class 1 town. So in India, majority of metropolitan and megacities are urban agglomerations. Okay, majority of metropolitan and megacities are urban agglomerations. So what are urban agglomerations? Let us see. An urban agglomeration may consist of any one of the following 3 combinations. Urban agglomeration, okay, may consist of any one of the following 3 combinations. So the first one is a town and its adjoining urban outgrowths. So to call an urban center as UA, urban agglomeration, what are the necessary conditions? What are the necessary combinations? So the first combination is that a town and its adjoining urban outgrowths. Just see here, say here we have a town here. And nearby it we may find these urban outgrowths, okay, urban outgrowths. And all these together we call it urban agglomeration. So this is the town, okay, and thereby it there may be outgrowths. So let us say these are the outgrowths, and this outgrowth together with this town is known as urban agglomeration. Okay. Then number 2, 2 or more contiguous towns with or without their outgrowths. So the second combination is like this. Here we have a town here, and here we have another town here, and there may be outgrowths or there may not be outgrowths. And as I have told you earlier, in due course of time the towns will grow. Okay, this town will grow and this town also will grow, and in due course of time the 2 towns may merge together, and this is what we call urban agglomeration. Okay, then the third one, a city and 1 or more adjoining towns with the outgrowths together forming a contiguous spread. So the third condition is that, okay, the third condition is that here we have a city here, and nearby it there may be towns, okay, there may be towns, and with or without outgrowths. So in due course of time this city also will grow and these towns also will grow and they will merge together, and so here the 2 towns together with the big city will be known as urban agglomeration. So this is the third condition, okay, this is the third condition. So it is evident from table 4.2 that more than 60% of the population in India lives in class 1 towns, as just we have read, okay, 60% of the total percent of urban population in India lives in class 1 towns. And out of 468 cities, 53 cities or urban agglomerations are metropolitan cities. Okay, out of 468 cities in India, 53 cities urban agglomerations are metropolitan cities, and 6 of them are mega cities, that is more than 5 million population. Okay, and more than 1/5 of, that is 21% of urban population lives in the mega cities. That is mega cities contribute 21% of urban population in India. Okay, and among the urban agglomeration in India, Greater Mumbai is the largest urban agglomeration with 18.4 million people. So Greater Mumbai is the largest urban agglomeration in India with a population of 18.4 million people. Okay, and next we have Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, and Hyderabad. So these are the other mega cities in the country. Okay, so you will find a table also in your textbook. You will find a table, and this table is very important for the map work. Okay, this table, table number 4.3 shows the population of million plus cities or urban agglomeration according to 2011 census. So you have to read this table, and you have to note the important urban agglomerations. Okay, see here, Delhi, for example. Delhi is here, population is here. Okay, and Kolkata is here, and this is the population. Okay, 14 million, more than 14 million. And we have learned that this Greater Mumbai, so this is the largest urban agglomeration with the population of 18.4 million. Okay, likewise you have to find out the large, okay, or the largest urban agglomerations in India from this table. And in the exams, so location of these urban agglomerations may be asked. Okay, are you clear, boys and girls? Any question?
No, sir.
Next we have functional classification of towns. See, we know that cities perform different types of functions. Okay, however, if you examine very carefully, you may find some specialized functions in a city. Generally, a city or a town perform a lot of functions, but say if we examine the functions very carefully, you may find a dominant function also. So that means some towns and cities specialize in certain functions, and they are known for some specific activities, products or services. Okay, and on the basis of dominant or specialized functions, Indian cities and towns can be broadly classified as follows. So this is what we call functional classification of town. This section is very easy but important for the exams also. Okay, see, the first class type of town based on function is the administrative towns and the cities. So towns supporting administrative headquarters of higher order are known as administrative towns or cities. Okay, towns supporting administrative headquarters of higher order. Actually, here in this administrative headquarters, you will find most of the government offices. Okay, we have examples of administrative towns like Chandigarh, Delhi, that is New Delhi, Bhopal, Shillong, Imphal, Srinagar, Gandhinagar, Jaipur, Chennai. That means all the state capitals, okay, in India are administrative towns and cities. Next, we have industrial towns. So industries constitute prime motive force for this type of towns. Okay, here in the industrial towns you will find cluster of industries. That means industries are the prime motive force, and we have examples of industrial towns like Mumbai. Actually, Mumbai is also administrative town. At the same time, it is also classified as industrial town because a lot of industries, cotton, textiles, and others are there. We have Salem, Coimbatore, Modinagar, Jamshedpur, Hooghly, then Bhilai. So these are examples of industrial towns. Next, we have transport cities. Actually, transport cities may be ports, primarily engaged in export and import activities, such as Kandla, then Kochi, Kozhikode, Visakhapatnam. So these are examples of ports. Or transport cities may be hubs of inland transport. okay, junctions of railways, and these highways, okay, hubs of inland transport. So we have examples of these hubs of inland transport, that is transport cities like Agra, Dhulia, Mughal Sarai, Itarsi, Katni. Okay, Mughal Sarai, Itarsi, these are famous. Okay, railway junctions are there. Then we have commercial towns. So towns in the cities specializing in trade and commerce are known as commercial towns. Okay, town cities specializing in trade and commerce are known as commercial towns. We have examples like Kolkata. You must know that Kolkata is also an administrative town. However, it also functions as commercial town. And we have Saharanpur, Satna, okay, as other commercial towns in India. Next, we have mining towns. Okay, so these are the towns developed in the mineral rich areas. So in these towns, you will find a lot of mining activities, a lot of mines. Okay, and we have examples of mining towns: Raniganj, Jharia, Digboi, Ankleshwar, Singrauli, etc. Garrison cantonment towns. Actually, these are the towns of these which are immersed, which have been immersed, okay, as a garrison town. That is, garrison towns are those towns which have a military station, okay, which have a military station. We have examples like Ambala, Jalandhar, Maho, then Babina, Udhampur. So these are examples of garrison or cantonment towns. Next, we have educational towns. Okay, these are the towns started as centers of education. Okay, and some of the towns have grown into major campus towns such as Roorkee, Varanasi, Aligarh, Pilani, Allahabad. Okay, so these are some examples of educational towns in India, and in these towns you'll find famous universities and colleges. For example, Varanasi, okay, VSU is there, Varanasi Hindu University. Allahabad also, Aligarh Muslim University is there, okay, very famous. Next, we have religious and cultural towns. So these are the towns, okay, which came up, okay, due to in prominence due to their religious and cultural significance. So towns, okay, which have prominence, okay, of religious and cultural significance are known as these religious and cultural towns. And we have examples of these religious and cultural towns like Varanasi, Mathura, then Amritsar, okay, Madurai, Puri, Ajmer, Pushkar, Tirupati, Kurukshetra, Haridwar, Ujjain. Okay, so let us find out. Here. So important here, as say for example Pushkar. So Pushkar is here. I think Pushkar is there or not? Yes, Pushkar is there. And then here we have Puri. Okay, Puri is here. Then Ujjain is here. Okay, then Mathura is here. Haridwar is here. Never eat. You'll find Rishikesh also, and Kurukshetra is here in Haryana. Okay, and here we have Badrinath also here. So here in this map you'll find a lot of these religious places. Okay, just you can find out. Okay, Ajmer, Puri, Madurai. Okay, all are here. Ajmer, I think I have it is here. So I may send this map in the group also so that you can find out. And next we have the last type of functional town, that is tourist towns. Actually these are famous as a hill station, okay, or tourist resorts. Examples, actually these are famous tourist destinations, okay, And we have examples: Nainital, Mussoorie, Shimla, Pansmarhi, Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, Udagamandalem, that is known as Uti. Okay, it was known as Uti. Then Mount Abu. So these are some examples of tourist towns. And here we have a map, okay, showing these places. Here Mount Abu, okay, Mount Abu is in Rajasthan here, a very famous hill station. And others are here. Okay, other hill stations are here. Say, for example, here we have Mussoorie, Ranikhet, Nainital. Okay, Nainital is also here, and a lot of hill resorts are here. Okay, and here in other areas also. Okay, here Uti is here, Udagamandalam, as mentioned here. Okay, in the book. And other places, Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, these are also in Rajasthan, okay, although not indicated here, but however in other maps it is indicated. Okay, so in this way towns perform different types of function, but however sometimes we find specialized functions, and based on the specialized functions, towns in India has been classified in these ways. Last but not the least, we have a new edition here. It is known as Smart Cities Mission. Okay, implemented by the launched by the government of India. Okay, now let us read about it. The objective of the Smart Cities Mission is to promote the cities that provide core infrastructure, a clean and a sustainable environment, and give a decent quality of life to its citizens. So the main objective of Smart Cities Mission is to promote the cities, okay, to provide core infrastructure, a very good infrastructure, a very clean and a sustainable environment, okay, and to give a decent quality of life to all the citizens. So one of the features of the smart cities is to apply smart solutions to infrastructures and the services in order to make them better. For example, making less vulnerable to disaster. So this is a type of smart solution, okay, to the infrastructure, making areas less vulnerable to disasters, using fewer resources, that is conservation, okay, it is related with the sustainable development, using fewer resources and providing cheaper services to the people. Then the focus is on the sustainable and inclusive development, and the idea is to look at compact areas, create a replicable model which will act as a lighthouse to the other aspiring cities. Actually, we have to develop a model city, and that can be a replica, okay, for the other aspiring cities. That will be the lighthouse. That model city would be the lighthouse for the other aspiring cities. So this is about Smart Cities Mission launched by the government of India. Okay, so any question, boys and girls? Okay, if you don't have questions, let us stop here for today. Thank you very much for joining my class.
Thank you, sir.